Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Yoga for Everybody. My name is Skyla Ramirez. We'll be moving through about an hour today of breathing, physical movement, asana, and then some guided meditation. Let's get started with our breath work this morning. I recommend that you find a comfortable seated position or go ahead and lie down on your back. If you know that there's any pain in your body, in the back, the neck, the spine, you may want to lie down and bend your knees. This is a good time also to grab a pillow, grab any other props you might want to use in the practice. Let's start with a 3-part breath this morning. We could put the hands just on the belly or maybe one hand on the belly and one hand on your chest. And while we're here, let's focus on inhaling through the nose, down into the belly. And as you fill the lungs, fill from the belly to the ribs to the heart, pause. And then you're going to exhale from the mouth. Open the mouth like you're trying to fall the mirror and relax the lungs from the top down. So let's try that again. Inhaling into the nose, down into the belly, through the ribs, up to the heart, 3 parts of the lungs filling with the breath. And as we exhale out the nose or out the mouth, relax your chest, your ribs, and your belly. So if you know in your body that maybe there's some tension in your jaw, your neck or shoulders, maybe even in your low back, then you may want to continue with that ha breath, exhaling from the throat as if you're fogging a mirror. You could even stick out your tongue, just like lion's breath, stick the tongue out and flatten through the sides of the tongue. Move your jaw around. Just allow the whole body to soften around any natural breath, Just keep breathing, preferably inhaling through the nose, exhale from the throat with the lips slightly touching. Otherwise, breathe in any way that you feel is natural for your body. So maybe at first we practice breathing in through the nose and it's a little uncomfortable. There may even be some natural obstructions. That's really common for us to have differences in the nose anatomy where it might feel challenging to breathe in through the nose. But it is recommended that you just try as much as possible to breathe in through the nose, breathing out from the throat if you're having tension in your spine or back, breathing out through the nose with the lips together if you want to experiment with that today. Let's begin to pace the breath, counting it for 3 counts on the inhale, count back 3, 2, 1 on the exhale. And as we count the breath, we are just intently watching how the body responds to the breath. Notice how parts of your body open to receive the breath. Is it possible that you feel more open in your belly than the chest? Or maybe you notice that the breath is a little heavy in the belly and it doesn't want to move to the chest. You might even notice that the muscles in the stomach or the low back are tight. So maybe the breath is a little shallow in the belly, but then you get to the ribs and it inflates out to the side. So just noticing how the breath is intimately connected to your body. We'll continue to shape and mold the breath through the entire practice. In every pose we do, we'll be able to explore those places in the body that maybe are more open to receive the breath. Inhaling, counting 1, 2, 3, exhaling 3, 2, 1. Check in with the expression on your face. Relax the sides of your eyes. Maybe lift the eyebrows, start to animate the muscles in your face. Animating the face is a great way to tap into what we call the healthy vagus nerve. This is a nerve in the body, theoretically, that can help us to feel more calm, more peaceful. This energy of peace in yoga is known as sattva, sattva. And you could even try saying the word and notice how you feel when you speak in this way or when you use that word. You could inhale, hearing the sound sa, and exhale, hearing the sound va, or you can say it out loud, sattva, sattva. And even more than peace, it's the experience or the embodiment of tranquility. Now, as we move through class today, you might hear in the background the occasional birds chirping or a car going by, maybe even the occasional airplane or helicopter. I do have the windows open today. It is beautiful outside today, so I'm trying to just get the energy flowing in my house for some fall cleaning. Let's all take a moment from this place that's very sattvic, sattva, tranquil, peaceful. If you're seated, go ahead and lie down on the floor. We're going to move through a little bit of a supine warm-up before we come up. Let's meet on the floor with our knees bent, feet flat. From here, let's draw the knees into the chest, hold on behind the thighs, and go ahead and pedal out the feet and roll out the ankles. Let's get some blood pumping to these lower extremities and maybe even help the body to drain off any excessive fluid from the ankles. Go ahead and stretch the legs up with your toes pointed. And now flex the feet, push through the heels as if you're trying to push onto the ceiling with just the heels, pulling the toes towards your knees or pulling the toes towards your chest. Go ahead and press up with your right foot, maybe rock onto your left hip and bend the left knee. And now bring it through center, bend the right knee, push up through that left heel, maybe even rock a little bit over to one side. And then we're going to kick again. So this is just a variation on a happy baby rocking position. So you have one knee in. It's like half of the happy baby pose. Both hands on the floor for support. Push into that straight leg. And if your right leg is straight, lean into your left hip. Heel up that right hip. Let's bring it to center. Bend the right knee, half of a happy baby. Push up through the left heel. Rock it over to one side. Push through that heel. Pull that hip off the floor. And then bring it to center. Let's try it with the breath. Exhale, rock over to one side. Lift the hip. Inhale through center. Gentle rock and kick. Center. Maybe one more time to each side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Let's bring it through neutral. Hold on behind the knees again. Touch the toes together. Open the thighs into supine butterfly. Now, maybe we separate the toes a little bit. More importantly is that we're getting that stretch in the hip and groin region. There are lymph nodes down here. And we want to encourage the draining of any excessive fluid that we got off the ankles. If it came down here, we want to pull it up into that thoracic duct region. When you're ready, slowly bring the knees in. Let's see that they're at hips width. Lower the feet down. Inhale, just tilt the pelvis as you inhale. And now exhale, relax the pelvis and reach the arms overhead. Big stretch. Pull the ribs away from the mat. Let's lower the hands down. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, just a tilt, creating that contraction deep in the front of the body. Relax the hips, arms overhead, exaggerate the reach and peel up the ribs. Relax the ribs, relax the hands. Pelvic tilt, inhale. Hold it there and exhale, contract the muscles in the abdomen. When you're ready, relax the hips, arms overhead. Let's do one more. Arms coming down beside us. Inhale, little tilt. Exhale, tilt a little more. Pull the ribs in towards the midline of the body. Contract the same muscles used to stop urination, and maybe even push down into the heels and pull back. Imagine a yoga block between the knees. So we're squeezing in and pulling back, activating what we call the deep line of fascia, a deep line of energy that stabilizes from your pubic bone and tailbone all the way up through the middle of the body, core energies. Let's relax and reach the arms overhead. Relax all the muscles in your legs and just reach. Imagine you're trying to climb a rope behind you, or if you're protecting your shoulders, you could climb that rope with the hands in front of the body, reaching the arms back, pull up the ribs. When you're ready, let both hands come down to the floor. You could take them out to a T, palms down or up. Let your body choose for you. Let's take this into a gentle sway. On the exhale, sway it over to the right. The left lung is really open here. So inhale into your left lung. Exhale, twist to the left. Now the right lung is open. So inhale into the right lung. At center, exhale, twist. Left lung open, inhale. And twist. Right lung open, inhale. Twist. One more time to each side. Left lung open. And center. Right lung open. Twist as you exhale. Right lung open. When you're ready, bring it through center. Let's walk both feet over to the left edge of our mat. From here, straightening out the legs. Take the legs out straight on the floor. Take your right arm overhead. And now walk that left hand down towards your left toe. So we're moving into a side bend with the body. The right side of the body is stretched and open. There's a contraction. We're leaning over to the left. Right lung is mostly open here. Breathe into that upper right lung and right arm. Reach at the top of the breath. So we're using the expansion of the lungs to stretch from the inside out. When you're ready, let's lower that right arm down. We may want to bend the knees where we are for support. Let's bring our shoulders to neutral. Walk the feet over to the right, then straighten your legs out. So your right hip is going to feel up. From here, take the arms overhead. Reach down with the right arm, up with the left hand. And if it feels natural to maybe scoot your shoulders to the right, you can do that as well. So we're stretching the left side of the body, left lung mostly open here. Pausing at the top of the breath, we might want to pause and just stretch from the body, maybe even taking another sip of breath, and then let it go. Let's bend our knees, lower the hands. Let's roll over to the right. We're already in this direction. That might be easier on the body. Curl up into a little ball lying on your side for at least 3 to 5 breaths. Focus on breathing into the back of the lungs. Let's breathe along the sides of the spine. When you're ready, let's take that top arm, slowly press up to all fours. You might want to sit for cat and cow or come around into all fours. Let your body choose for you. So I know that I've been doing a lot of weight bearing flat on my hands. And what I'm going to do today is use my bolster underneath my elbows. That way my head isn't so low to the floor. This can sometimes help also with blood pressure and even with allergies. So 'tis the season, y'all, 'tis the season. I mean, we live in Texas, so every season is allergy season, but really as things begin to dry out and as we begin to have these cold mornings and warm days, allergies can flare up. So I've actually adapted. I have my bolster with 2 blocks. That way I'm not inverted and I don't put pressure on my wrist and I'm still able to work with spine mobility here. And you're welcome to try the same thing. From wherever you are, let's flip the hips back, unhinge from the belly, looking forward with our gaze into cow pose. When we exhale, let's pull from the belly button up. So the hips are going to curl in, and then we can drop our head, and maybe we shake our head, yes, and turn it left and right. So we allow gravity to open the back of the neck, lengthen the spine, hopefully reducing pressure in the shoulders and all the way to your fingers. Inhaling, lengthen the spine. Exhale, round the spine, holding that rounding. Inhale into the back of your heart. Inhale into the backs of the lungs on the sides of the spine. Push down a little more into the hands or the elbows so that you separate the shoulders away from the heart. We're opening that space between the shoulder blades. Sometimes people get like a catch in the shoulder there. They get a little pain in their ribs. When you're ready, inhale, let's come into cow. Holding in cow pose, we're going to practice wag the tail with cow. So this is a movement where you just take your hips to one side and you're trying to pull your hip up towards your ribs. So I'm swayed over to the left on this. So maybe imagine where your tailbone is and start angling your tailbone towards your left heel. And then think of activating the muscles around the hip up towards your left rib or left waistline. When you're ready, release it to center. Tailbone at neutral. Let's think about where the tailbone is and the mechanics in that movement. Tailbone over towards the right heel. And then thinking about the energy in the upper hip, pulling up to contract at the waistline. It may feel very different on the right. Your liver is on this side, and livers come in different shapes and sizes. And the position can slightly change depending on if you've had breakfast or not today. So if you feel a lot of pressure, don't do that side bend very much. Just listen to your body. Your body has all the intelligence. So we don't want a lot of sensation. We just want to practice the mobility. Let's bring it through neutral. Let's try this just a little bit again, over to the left. So angle the tailbone, activating those muscles deep along the hip that help to stabilize the pelvis. Bring it through center. If you don't feel like you're doing it, that's okay. That's all right. Maybe every once in a while, lift a hand up to your waist and feel like you're pulling that hip up to your waist. Just create the movement. You may not feel it yet. Let's do one more to each side. Center, over to the left. Deep contraction, but not deep or invasive sensation. Through center, other side. And now through center, let's press the hips back, laying the belly on the thighs, or maybe even putting the stomach between the thighs. You can open the knees really wide so the body has space to soften. Let's relax in any expression of child's pose. Let's think about the breath on the sides of the lungs, down by the hip, at the waistline, then under the armpit region. As the breath leaves the body from the hips, relax your jaw. When you're ready, slowly come forward. Let's come into seated with the body. From seated, you could sit on a blanket, a pillow. You could even roll a blanket up in a coil so it lifts the hips. Let's place our hands on top of our knee joints. Your legs could be out for this as well if it's more comfortable. We want to be sure those knees are happy. Wherever you go, just check in with your knees. From here, let's shift over to the right knee with your body. And you're going to come to the side and a little bit forward. Push your left hip down into the floor. You might start to notice sensations in the left side of the body. This is common. It's not wrong to have sensations there. There are some muscles that go all the way into the back of your thigh that come up to this point. We're trying to stretch those muscles before we put too much more pressure on them. Let's bring it to center. Lean over to the left. And now move towards your left knee. So you're moving forward just a little bit. Let's take our right hand onto your right hip or back. Push your hip and back down. You can even close your eyes to become aware of any shifts in the body. There might be a heaviness in your left hip as compared to the right. You may even notice the right hip comes off the ground. That's common. Just encourage it to drop so that we can get that big stretch from the back of your leg all the way up into your middle back and side of the spine. Let's come up through center. We're going to add on to that with cat and cow. So first, let's rotate at the navel towards the right knee. Now remember cow pose, pushing the hips back. Let's lead forward with the heart as if you're trying to move your ribs and heart up over that right leg. From here, we're going to go forward. Raise forward with the heart. Keep the ribs lifted. Heart is shining forward the whole time. Lean over to the left with the body. Now we're moving into cat. So we're going to lean back. We're going to pull the stomach in, drop the chin, come to center, come over to the right, and neutral spine. Open the body, lean forward, cow pose with a half circle at the front. And then exhale, cat, half circle back. Inhaling forward, big circles with the rib cage, exhaling back. This is a big massage for the intestines and the liver and the kidneys. Let's do one more. Inhale, bring it around nice and slow. Exhale, take it back. Now switch directions, come around to the left, pull forward with your ribs, easy does it, push that right hip back as you sweep over the earth with the heart and ribs. Pause, push that left hip down and then round it back. So the weight is going to naturally, kind of like a seesaw, the hips are going to kind of shift left and right in the body. You'll feel the weight slightly redistribute itself so that we're able to stay balanced. Let's do one more around. Inhale forward on the left, open the belly, sweep it around, and now come to center. Let's take the hands over to the left. Inhale, bring them both up, straight up overhead. Push up with your hands, like the happy, raise the roof, or like you're going to hit a volleyball overhead. Just a nice big hand gesture here, moving out those fingers and wrists. Let's rotate towards the right and let the hands come down, touch the floor. Inhale, bring it up, big breath in, hands high, reach, and then exhale, turn, and let the hands come down. So gentle rotation at your navel. Inhale, rise it up, big breath in, reach from the trunk of the body, rotate right and bring it down. Let's do one more on each side, practicing a lot of trunk rotation today. Inhale, reach and rotate, bring it down. Last time, inhale up and now bring your hands down. Let's bend both knees, sweep them to one side. We're coming up to standing. If you want to use a prop nearby, I recommend that you come onto your knees using a chair, a wall, or a table. Keep one hand on that support, bring the other foot forward. Tuck the back toe and shift your weight forward. Then bring it foot to foot in a comfortable standing position. From here, we can come up, protecting our bodies along the way. So come up nice and slow. That way your blood pressure stays happy in the body. Let's come to any standing mountain expression. Soft through our knees. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Let's fly the arms a few times. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Big open circles with the arms. Exhaling back and around. One more. Open the chest. Lift up through the ribs. And then exhale back and around. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Stepping the left foot back, a short stride. Inhale, open up, peaceful warrior. You could even have your hands forward, little peace sign. Open up, big breath in. Exhale, step it to forward, mountain. From here, right foot back. Inhale, open. Cactus arms, peaceful warrior. Exhale, close. Let's practice this a few more times, really focusing on the mechanics of this. As we step back, we're going to roll from the toe and the ball of the foot down to the heel. You might even be straightening your left leg and doing a little bit of a lift in your ribs. It really is a lot like cow pose, pulling up the ribs, and then exhale, come forward and step at mountain. Taking the other foot back, toe to heel, and then open and straighten that front leg. Exhale, bending the knee, stepping forward. So something else that you're welcome to add on to this is closing the eyes. And when we close our eyes, we may not move as fast. So letting go of the notion that we have to do one breath with one movement. Instead, just breathe through that process. Stepping back, heel to toe. Inhale, open. Shifting forward, peeling up the heel, pushing off the toe. Inhaling, toe to heel. Exhale, forward. Bend the front knee, peel up the heel, push off the toe. Taking it back, toe to heel. Exhaling forward, lift the heel to the toe. Let's round this out or center this out, doing this to what you feel is balanced on left and right. Whatever your body interprets as balanced, even that up for you. And let's meet at mountain with the hands at the heart. From here, we might want to bring the feet in a little more narrow than the width of the hips. So maybe hip width today is seeing that the edges of the feet are in alignment with the edges of the hips. So you don't have to take the feet out to that width. It's more the edges of the feet in that alignment. From here, let's shift forward and back, keeping a soft bend in the knees. Maybe even lower your chin and close your eyes as the body shifts forward and back. Giving the body just a little bit of time to maybe recruit some different muscles to help us stay with that balanced feeling. The recruitment of muscles means more communication from the body to the brain, and then the brain to the body. So we're working with two unique systems. When we close the eyes and shift, we're working with the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous systems. So just shifting forward and back, eyes closed. If the body gets wobbly or shaky, that's normal. That's normal. More often than not, people close their eyes in yoga and get wobbly. When you're ready, come to standing tall. Let's open the eyes, taking the left foot back for any expression of a warrior one. So you could take a long stride or a short stride. We're not going to stay here very long. Inhale, bringing the arms up overhead into any warrior one expression. Keep a healthy bend in that right knee. Reach up through the fingertips and push back into that left heel. When you're ready, exhaling swan dive. We could even straighten that right leg, moving into pyramid pose. Let's relax our head and neck. Breathe out from the throat. Try a big sigh. Try a ha breath. Relax the jaw. When you're ready, let's bend the right knee and walk the hands up onto the right thigh. Let's anchor that energy there. When you're ready, reverse swan dive, rising up. Let's open to warrior two. Turning to the left edge of the mat, we turn our left heel in. We might even step that left foot back even more. Whatever knee is bent, it's my right knee that I'm demoing right now. My left leg is back straight. My right knee is forward. Let's look out over the right fingertips, feeling that your shoulders line up over the hips. You can reach back, reach forward. Just sort of notice where you feel centered in your spine. From here, let's straighten that right leg for triangle pose. Pulling that left hip back. We're going to rotate just a little bit in. So if you want, put your hands on your shoulders for this. Rotate your left shoulder back so you're adding a little bit of a twist to the left, but keep pulling your right thigh open and back. Let's tilt back into that left hip. Pull the right armpit over the right knee. So you might even practice crunching into the left side of the body, that little hip to the rib or hip to the waist contraction. Let's slowly lower the right hand anywhere on your leg, avoiding pressure on the kneecap. Maybe the hand is on the floor, or maybe we come straight down with the arm onto a yoga block or another type of prop to help us out here. Let's push into that right hand and think of rotating at the waist a little more, opening up the heart towards the front of your mat, or open the heart towards the ceiling. Pressing our shoulders to the hips, left lung mostly open. Maybe we breathe into the back of the right lung here. Notice where the breath might make itself just a little more visible, a little more known inside of us. One more inhale. When you're ready, bend the right knee. Come up to warrior two. Big smile, big smile. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Clasp the hands, making a point with your index finger. Lace all the fingers and just point with your index finger. From here, let's turn our right toe in for a standing straddle. Inhale, reach up through the hands, maybe even look up with the legs out wide in the straddle position. When you're ready, swan dive towards the floor. Hands can go to the thighs or the shins, tailbone angled back. Shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. When it feels right for you, soften the knees and let's slowly begin to heel toe, just inching, heel toe, little tiny pivots through the ankle to walk the feet to neutral. So I'm keeping my yoga block nearby. I know that my body is liking the stretch with this today. You're welcome to grab yours too. Let's soften our knees and reverse swan dive. Big inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gather the breath 2 more times and maybe close the eyes. Inhaling, arms overhead, taking the right foot back, any warrior one expression. Let your body choose. Lunging forward dynamically, reaching up through the fingertips. You could always hold it right here or swan dive it down. Option to straighten that left leg as the hips hinge back into pyramid pose. You could put the hands on the thigh, the shin, the floor. Avoid putting the hands on the knee. This is a position that maybe can make the knees a little vulnerable if there's any pressure. Exhale from the jaw. So with a big sigh. Exhale with that ha breath. Big inhale. Exhale, ha breath. Ha. When you're ready, bend the left knee. Let's walk our hands up onto the thigh, neutral spine. Reverse swan dive. Just here for a second. Open to warrior two, turning the right heel in, reaching the arms out, maybe lengthening our stride. So we have the left leg forward, right leg back. Deep bend in that left knee, straight back through the right leg. Let's look over the fingertips. You can move your trunk of the body a little bit, maybe reach it a little more forward, armpit over the knee, and then reach it back, maybe even drop that right shoulder down, just allowing the body to feel for some familiar positions. We've already done all this type of work with the ribs and the hips, so just give the body that familiar sensation with a new plane of movement. From here, let's straighten our left leg. We may want to put the hands on the shoulders, rotate towards the right. So little twist from the waist towards the right. From here, shifting back with the hips, maybe reaching our left rib over the left knee. And we could even reach down to the yoga block. You could put your hand on your thigh, your shin, or on the floor if it's more comfortable today. No matter where we are, we're rotating back through that right shoulder, reaching our arms straight up to the sky. Breathing into that upper right lung or into the back left shoulder blade, back left shoulder. When you're ready, slowly bend the left knee. Let's rise up to warrior two, mighty warrior two. When you're ready, inhale, arms overhead, lace the fingers, push out through your index fingers, arms overhead. Let's turn the left toe in. Inhale, reach up from your armpits, little back bend. Exaggerate the inhale around the heart. Big breath in. And then exhale. Two more. Big inhale, reach. Exhale, relax. One more big inhale. And exhale. Let's put the hands down on the hips. Allow those hips to pull back with the tailbone, folding over the thighs, finding a forward fold in our straddle position. Hanging the spine nice and loose. Every exhale is an invitation to let go. It's an invitation to make space for movement, letting go so we make space for the next big breath. Letting go to truly making space in the body so the spine can lengthen and the disc can open in the spine. Shake the head yes, and turn it a little bit. When it feels right, you know that you can stay here or take your time. Find where the hands are, feel into your feet, and then slowly make that transition to heel toe the feet in towards each other. Shake off the knees, check in with your footing. Let's feel that we are fully supported by the earth. Walking the hands up, maybe halfway, blood pressure happy, and then come up all the way and shake everything off. All right, so let's move into a standing balancing stretch. And I'd like to give you the option of sitting in a chair for this balancing stretch today. It's one that we've done many times if you've been with me in the Yoga for Everybody session in person or online. If you're still getting familiar with this stretch, you can stand by a wall. You do not have to sit in a chair. But I just want you to take advantage of this various ways to express it. So I'm going to start standing on my left leg, and I have the wall here for support, bending both knees. I'm lifting my right knee and turning it out to the side. So maybe I keep the heel into the inner calf region, the inner side of the thigh. Definitely no pressure on the inside knee. Now, if you want to experiment with this, you could bring it up into a high tree expression, or maybe cross it over. So this crossover or this figure 4 is the one that you could do instead from a chair. If you're standing, push your hips back and bend that standing leg. And I'm going to show you the pose in different planes. So the frontal plane, it looks like the number 4. In the side plane, you'll see that we can bend the knee as if you're dropping the hips back, and then you're letting your hips unhinge. So it's that same movement of cat and cow. We want to be somewhere between cat and cow, releasing the hips. So this can be done from seated, from any seated position, even on the edge of a bed or couch. You would take the foot up and cross it over. That knee might be really high, or it could be out to the side. From wherever you are, you push the tailbone back and come forward. So less weight bearing when we sit down and do this. When you're standing, most certainly it proposes a balancing challenge. From seated, you might feel more of a release in your back and hips. So go ahead and kind of curate the practice for yourself. There's plenty of time for you to experiment with standing and seated. And then who knows, maybe you really like one of these and you use it in the week. You might use it later on today. So from wherever you are, exhale, relax your jaw. Inhaling through the nose as much as possible. Exhale from the throat. When you're ready, you're welcome to come up, and we can experiment with the other side, starting standing or seated. I'm going to start standing, so I work a little bit of balance into my practice today, but you are more than welcome to do this from seated. So from standing, I'm going to stand on my right leg, lifting the left knee, opening that knee out to the side, heel to the inside of the leg, away from the knee. Maybe we hold it in tree pose. So we might be standing in tree. We may never, ever go into figure 4. Option to cross that leg over, bending the right knee, push the hips back as you come down. So if I was seated in a chair, the hips would come down almost 90-degree angle for the hip to the knee to the leg. That's very deep stretch with a lot of pressure in the foot. But you get a totally different effect on the stretch if you just sit on a chair. Let's exhale from the throat. You still want to practice the balance part of it. Of course, let go of your prop. Take the hands out. If you want to sit in the chair and do this so you can get that release in your back, go ahead and have a seat. Hips go back, heart shifting forward. I keep my crossed leg, I keep that foot on the crossed leg flat. Let's see if you'll see it. I keep the foot flat. This is a safety precaution. You don't have to flatten the foot in the pose. There's not a rule. Based on overall body mechanics, if you know that parts of your hip are tight, whenever we do this pose, what happens sometimes is because of a tight hip that we're trying to rotate, if you don't keep your foot flat, it'll twist your knee. So we flatten our foot, which stabilizes the knee, and then that stretch is isolated in the hip only. And nobody's ever said they need to practice knee twisting exercises. There's no such thing. So just twisting through the hip, no knee twisting exercises in yoga. Let's exhale from the throat. The more we relax the jaw, the more potential there is to relax the hips, the back and the spine. Soften your eyes. There's no rush. Maybe we're here another breath or two. When you're ready, let's slowly come out of the pose. Whether you're standing or seated, we may want to meet with support from our prop to help us come down to the floor. Taking one leg back, high on the toe, bending the knees, coming down. And then taking our other leg back. From here, we just simply swing those legs around and sit back on the floor. Let's go ahead and shake out our knees and shake out the arms. Moving into a nice big twist. Let's take a bend in our right knee and cross it over. If it's more comfortable, bend your left leg too, but you don't have to. You can keep your left leg straight if that's more comfortable. Let's inhale our left arm up. And as you exhale, twist to the right. You could hug that right knee in. You could even take the elbow on top of the knee, or take the left elbow to the outside of your leg while you twist to the right. Looking over the right shoulder, stabilizing the gaze and breathing easy. When it feels right for you, slowly come out of that twist. Half Lord of the Fishes. That's the name of that pose. Let's stretch out our legs. Bending the left knee and taking it over. You can angle your right foot in as well. Remember, you can bend that right knee and come up to seated right here. From wherever you are, let's straighten the right arm. Reach and then exhale, twist to the left. Either hug that leg or prop the right elbow on top of that left knee, or take that right elbow to the outside of the left knee in your twist. Let's just embrace a little bit of stillness. Sattva, sattva. When you're ready, slowly come around to neutral. Uncross the legs. Let's reach forward. Relax your head and neck, legs straight. Seated forward fold. When you're ready, slowly come up. Let's bend our knees and let those knees sway over to one side. Let's get set up while we are halfway up and bring in anything that you may want for comfort as we move into our final relaxation and meditation. I have been traveling a lot, so I am going to put my heels up on a chair for our meditation today. I'm using the yoga block to prop up my head and my neck a little bit. From wherever you are, let your arms come out to the side. So usually we do recommend that the palms turn up. This is to promote more of an open chest. It's considered just a kind way to stretch the muscles across your chest. Those muscles can really get tight because of various activities in the day, but also just stress. Stress can make the muscles tight in your chest. So maybe even if it feels a little uncomfortable, turn the palms up. And if you have extra yoga blocks or pillows, if it's really uncomfortable, turn the palms up and put a pillow under your knuckles. Put pillows or blocks under your hands. Let's bring awareness to a sensation of expansion. Take in a big inhale and hold it just for 3 seconds. Then let it go. Let's try that again. Big inhale. 3, 2, 1, let it go. Now the next one, notice if the body can hold it longer. Big inhale. Let go whenever your body wants to let go. Let's bring awareness to the whole body. And if there are any parts that are a little checked out, we may want to move those parts. So can you feel your feet? Maybe wiggle the toes or the ankles, feel the feet. Can you feel your knees? If you need to, let the knees go in and out a little bit. With that, can you feel your thighs and hips? Maybe both knees sway left and right. Peel up a hip. Can you feel your shoulders? Move the shoulders. Can you feel your hands and your fingertips? Can you feel your elbows? Bend the arms if you want to, or roll the arms. Can you feel the neck and head? Let the head just rock a little bit left and right. And finally, bring it to center, allowing the body to be still. Let's become aware of any space between the eyebrows. Soften the eyes and feel the forehead relaxing. Become aware of space behind the ears. Be aware of the space in your nose, the nostrils open, there's space there. Be aware of space in the back of the throat. Be aware of the space in the throat. When you inhale, feel the breath moving through that space. Breathe down into the heart, down through the ribs, down to the belly. And relax. Sattva. Take a moment in the mind and experience the embodiment of tranquility. When you hear the word tranquil or tranquility, what comes to mind for you? Could it be a moonlit path? Could it be a lake so still, this lake, the surface looks like glass? Could it be a still sky or an autumn sunrise? What is tranquility for us? In our minds, let's recall images of tranquility. Sattva, tranquility. Sa, of the earth. Sa is of the earth. It's also used in the word satya, which means honesty. Truly, we are from the earth, we return to the earth. And the earth is meant to be a peaceful and tranquil place for us. Let's stay here another couple of quiet minutes to observe tranquility and feeling for this sense of peace being supported by the earth. Let the body lay here to experience tranquility for as long as it feels right for you. For those of you who maybe have carved out this 1 hour, maybe you have other things to do, please deepen your breath if you know that you're on a schedule today. And take your time. You might want to wiggle your fingers or wiggle your toes. If you're lying on the floor with your legs straight, go ahead and bend the knees. No matter where you are, stretch the body out a little bit before you roll over to one side, and then take yourself up to seated. You may want to take the hands and rub them together briskly. Let's create some heat. Once we get that friction and that heat generated in the body, let's take the hands and cup them over the eyes, absorb the warmth, that energetic life force. Inhale. Bring the hands over your throat and chest. In closing, we can place the hands together at the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I hope you enjoy this absolutely beautiful day. I plan on seeing y'all next week, unless you hear otherwise from me in email. Have a great day, everybody. Namaste.